Welcome to WNIN Newsmakers. I'm April Nading. To learn about business developments and upcoming events in the tri-state, we have Justin Groenert, Chief Strategy Officer, and Ashley Diekmann, River Vision Advancement Director from the Evansville Regional Economic Partnership, or EREP. Hey guys, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about what is the organizational makeup of EREP?
Sure, so we are a 4-county sort of regional economic development and chamber of commerce here in Southwest Indiana. We cover Vandenberg County, Posey County, Gibson County, and Warwick County for economic development as the regional economic development entity, and we are the Chamber of Commerce for Vandenberg and Posey. Our mission is to cultivate a thriving and growing talent-rich Evansville region through advocacy and collaboration between our communities, businesses, and civic leaders, and that says a whole lot. But really, we're here to be the voice of business for our area, really drive talent, population growth, and economic development in our region. Advocacy, everything from the I-69 bridge to being in the State House during the legislative session. We do a lot on behalf of our region, and I think we do a lot of really good work.
I know you referred to Chamber of Commerce. Isn't this what used to be the Chamber of Commerce? I mean,
so
why was that change made?
Sure. So 4 years ago, through several, I wasn't here at that point. I had worked at the Southwest Indiana Chamber and had left to pursue another opportunity. But while I was gone, the Chamber of Commerce and the 2 economic development entities in the region got together, decided to merge into one sort of more cohesive organization. I think when you look at what regional cities did in terms of regional collaboration, as a region, we do that as well or better than any other region in the state. I think our 4 counties specifically have figured out how to work together. And when you just started to look at it, it just made sense. A lot of the same board members were on the boards of all 3 organizations. When organizations are looking at what they're funding, there's a lot of duplicity between economic development and chambers. So a whole lot of different reasons as to why the merger happened, but it did, and I think we're a stronger organization for it. We now house, the economic development entities, like I talk about the chamber. We have the sports commission now. We brought in the Evansville Regional Sports Corporation and brought it in, so we help put on all of the college basketball, all of the swim and dive. Brandon McClish is out at Angel Mounds today with the MVC cross-country conference tournament. So we do a lot across a whole lot of pillars around our community.
So is this a way that, before everyone, I guess, was more independent? Yeah. And then it's a way of bringing them together, and then, like you said, without such a duplication of services even?
I think everybody got along really well. Everybody worked together really well. But at some point, when you're all rowing the same way, it makes sense, to bring it all together and kind of make it a little bit easier to manage.
All the like minds together.
Yes, it creates this cohesive core that we're able to meet and be able to discuss the topics that are, pressing in our region, and be able to decide and implement those projects that are really impactful and transformative for our communities in our region.
So what are some of the newer developments that EREP has been working on?
Sure. I think one of the biggest things, obviously, was the READY programs that the state put together. It spun out of regional cities, and again, it really focused collaboration and regionalization in the state. And again, we have kind of Southwest Indiana has led the charge statewide. We've been kind of the model for a lot of these. So we were awarded $45 million in READY 2. Those projects, that $45 million has turned into $500 million in project construction costs in Southwest Indiana. And we've done some studies that if you combine the construction of $500 million plus the 10-year GDP contributions that will come in for those projects, we're talking about a $2.3 billion economic impact for Southwest Indiana over the next 10 years.
And what is READY? Remind me.
So that is the regional, it's the pot of money that the state put together for regional development. Okay. So each state had to put together each segment of the state had to put together a proposal. We put together a list of projects, sort of visionary projects that we were looking at working on in our 4-county region, and there are obviously stipulations that the state puts in to make sure that we're being inclusive of everybody. And we've, again, turned that $45 million into potentially $2.3 billion in economic impact for our region over the next 10 years.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, when you think about it too, you have, like Justin said, you have this $45 million in investments within our community, and to be able to make that of, the creation of jobs or the investment in our region and creating this economic growth that we will feel for generations to come.
And I think one of the things that's unique about the READY program is it's a combination of government dollars, but it's really the back end of the investment. So you have to have local government involved, you have to have private investment involved. So it's not just the state handing out $45 million and say, go turn this into 2.3. Like, you have to have a real plan to get these projects off the ground. And it takes a lot, obviously, to do that. And again, I think it just shows how collaborative we are and how much foresight we've had in terms of what we're really trying to tackle. Housing is a big thing. It's a big thing everywhere. In Chattanooga, you couldn't find a house before I moved back home. And so, this will leverage almost 740 new housing units in our region, in the 4-county region, over the next 5 to 6 years as we're getting these projects off the ground.
And leverage, you mean from what, start to finish?
Yeah.
They're going to be built?
So these projects will add 740 housing units right now.
With like lower rent or what?
Across the spectrum.
Mix. Yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be low income, there'll be workforce, and then there'll be market rate housing across the board. If you look, let's say the Dominion in Warwick County, it's going to add 150 residential units with a 5-story office building and then retail on the ground floor. You look at the district in Princeton, which is kind of over by Toyota, who can obviously use more housing. They're adding a second phase to a project that will, in total, add 254 units to Princeton. You look at the Nest at Red Bank, which is out with all the construction on the Lloyd, but it's a 5-acre site that'll add 96 apartments to that part of town. And with USI right there and everything else, that makes a lot of sense. The one I think that's the most exciting, and we highlighted them at our annual dinner, is Farmington Ridge, which is the first subdivision in Poseyville that's been started in almost 50 years.
Oh my gosh.
And they're going to have 86 lots to build new housing in Poseyville. And that was really driven by that community. They said, we're going to do this. We're going to find the resources to get it off the ground. And then as part of the READY process, we were able to kind of help get it off the finish line. So again, we're taking a very regional approach. It's not just Evansville-centric. We're really taking the 4 counties and really trying to drive population growth. I think one of the things that we work on at EREP too is talent attraction and retention. And we have focused a lot on, what do they call? Remote workers. Yes. There it is. That's what I'm going for.
What are those people called?
Yeah.
From home.
But we focus on remote workers, right? Yeah. And so what that does is that brings that individual into our region, but they bring their spouse, and their kids, and then there's the add-on jobs, and then hopefully they find a spot where they want to land here, and we keep them. In the last time we looked, in the last quarter, for the first time in at least pre-COVID, all 4 counties have seen population growth. So we're seeing the efforts that we're putting forth across the board start to pay off in really meaningful ways for our region.
What about what's the latest on the Ohio River Vision Plan?
Yeah, so we are really excited about this project, as well as the collaboration that we've seen not only from our community, but also from our local governments. We've actually presented this plan to Secretary Adams, and we've just really been very excited about the progress that we've made. And right now we're really working on the technical due diligence side, really laying that foundational groundwork. So we brought in local sub-consultants. We're still working with Sasaki, the global architecture firm. We're really working with that, but we're advancing the plan and making sure that it's not only beautiful here, that we have this beautiful plan, but it's also buildable. It's feasible and implementable. So along with working with Morley for civil engineering and Lockmuller for traffic and transportation, we're really looking at the water levels and the elevation, as we saw earlier in the year with how much the Ohio River fluctuates, and how, when we're designing this green space, this park, how does that impact the activity areas that we can really utilize? So we've made some refinements of making sure that we have active and vibrant spaces even when the water's high, so it can be utilized all year long.
So what's the next thing maybe people would see from that plan? Like, just it's one thing to hear about what's going to happen.
Yes.
What's the next thing someone would notice?
So our next steps, we're going to finish up what we call schematic design phase. Again, this really lays the foundational groundwork to be able to progress into the next phase. So the next phase would be construction drawing. So it is a lot of technical data, kind of the groundwork, what we're doing right now. But our schematic designs will be completed at the end of April or beginning of May of 2026. And from there, we'll be able to progress the design into construction drawings and make sure that we're, again, doing everything that we can do, not to just have this beautiful space on paper or, these beautiful pictures, but it's really implementable and that we can start building.
Well, that's not that far away.
No.
That will be here before we know it.
It will be here. It will be here before we know it. But as anyone knows, with all of these plans, it does take a lot of planning and effort. And so that's really what we're doing right now. And we're really working with all the stakeholders involved to progress this plan forward.
And with any major construction project, there are always things that happen. You don't have to watch too many house flipping shows to see that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's
We're
always
about
something
much bigger scale.
Exactly. But we also recently we kind of released 5 different requests for qualifications. So we're reviewing those right now, looking at structural engineering, cost estimating. So we're really looking at all sides of this plan to be able to make sure that, again, it's feasible, it's implementable, and it's something that our region can be proud of.
So I noticed you have a 69 pin on, I-69.
Given out several thousand of them at this point.
I'm wondering, do you have any updates on the I-69 project?
So obviously the bridge has been a big priority of EREP since before the merger. It was kind of my pet project in my first stint at EREP. We are moving right along. The Kentucky approach work, they're going to cut the ribbon next Thursday, I believe.
Where will that be?
So that will be over in Henderson. I don't know exactly where they're going to cut the ribbon, but I mean they've added 6 miles basically of interstate road. They've overhauled 2 major bridges, 9 bridges, 2 major interchanges to make this approach work happen. So that part of the project is essentially done, which is very exciting. That was the biggest piece of the approach work that needed to get done. Indiana broke ground last September. They should be about 60% of the way done by the end of this year. That project will be done next year.
So are you talking about, like, when you're driving on 69 toward downtown, like let's say from Newburgh, and it's over to the left? Yeah. That's a new bridge?
So that is basically the deck work that'll raise the road above the floodplain.
Okay.
And then that will be what you will drive on eventually to get across the new bridge.
Okay.
And we had those massive concrete beams that were coming through. I think they planted 80 of them, over the course of 2 months, 2.5 months. They're the largest stress beams currently in the country being built. So there's a lot of really good work. I think the cool part about that, though, is they're going to build that piece out so that regardless of what the weather does or what the river does, once we start working on the bridge, they'll be able to use that to allow for work to continue regardless of the height of the river, which will, again, help us get the bridge done faster. As for Section 2, which is the bridge itself, I know preliminary work is being done. I think Kentucky and Indiana have decided on it's either going to be an arch or a cable stay bridge. They're currently working on
cable, is that like the Natcher Bridge?
Something like that, yeah. It's going to look good, as I think. Ultimately, the design
pleasing.
will be a nice entrance or exit to the state of Indiana. Yes. There's a lot of talk about that. It's funny because, believe me, you can.
Well, we have some ugly bridges.
Currently, yes. We'll work on that too. And so right now, that is on a timeline to be built in 2031 or completed in 2031. So. We have recently submitted a federal DOT grant to the state of Indiana for $466 million is the number that will help us get the bridge kind of done. We were proud to host Secretary Sean Duffy, the U.S. Secretary of Transportation, at the beginning of September, who took an aerial tour of the site, met with, we had 4 members of Congress, the governor, 2 secretaries of transportation from both states, several elected officials on both sides. It was a who's who.
Lots of dignitaries.
Yes. But I think it's a testament to how much collaboration between Indiana and Kentucky we've gotten to really make this thing happen. So, we did a policy event in August that had Indiana's transportation secretary and Kentucky's transportation secretary. And I think the real testament to all of this in the 12, 13 years we've been pushing for this bridge is, we've worked through 2 administrations in Kentucky and 3 in Indiana to get this bridge done. And the collaboration between Indiana and Kentucky, in spite of the turnover at the highest levels of government, has never waned.
That's good.
Which I think is a real testament to the people at NDOT and KYTC for their ability to kind of continue to work together, understanding the importance of this project. Because it's not just a transportation, hub. We are at the crossroads of America, and this is the last piece that gets Canada connected basically to the Tennessee border, really. But it's an economic development play for our region as well. I mean, we built an entire interstate basically in cornfields. So there's plenty of land that we're going to be able to eventually develop. So, we've already worked with some consultants on what a potential corridor might look like as well. So it's not just getting people to and from, but it's the business opportunities and the economic development opportunities that spear off of
So
that.
it's kind of just the beginning.
Yeah.
In a way. So.
But I'd say we're at the 15-yard line. We're in the red zone.
We're
We're really excited about where
Where
that's
can
headed.
people learn more about these projects and other things with EREP? Their website? Or?
Yes, at the website. Yes.
And what is it?
EVVregion.com.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
Lots of
you.
good information. Thank you.